watching this one.
Believe it or not, we're entering the second half of the season. They've had so many rounds up front early. Thankfully, to fit in with us, this is the second event that we've seen the GT5 Challenge cars with us on the Touring Car Support Bill. And the championship has been toing and froing. As Steve mentioned, Will Jenkins, the championship leader, but he was momentarily deposed by Conor Grady, who starts on pole position for this one. And this should be another good race. We've got the AM class as well for the older drivers and those perhaps not taking their racing quite as seriously as the youngsters coming up through the ranks. So 2 races for the price of 1, which is something very much to look forward to. We've got new drivers in the mix as well this weekend, which we're looking forward to, and a good field and one of the most competitive championships that we've had for quite a long time. Lydia, are you looking forward to this?
I am, very much so, and look at all these cars, look at the liveries, they pop and bang with colour, don't they? So I'm looking forward to seeing this race and watching the action unfold. Yeah,
Ginetta certainly encouraged the cars to be very well turned out. We've got a lot of team liveries in there, whites and blues and reds for you to struggle over with, which we do when we don't see the cars too very often. But on the whole, a good mix of cars and a very good mix of drivers this weekend. One to perhaps look out for is Fraser Fenwick, who makes his debut. The Mazda MX-1 championship leader at the moment, running with Ali Bray Motorsport, so keep your eyes open for young Fraser, and done a little bit of testing before. He makes his debut here. But first of all, let's have a look at the entire grid that we've got for you here this weekend. Pole position going to Conor Grady with Mikey Doble alongside. Conor's first 2 pole positions in Challenge. Mikey Doble alongside, as I said. Will Jenkins leads the championship. He's third. Will Orton next up from round 9 winner Harley Horton, his first win in the championship. A change of number this weekend for Aidan Hills. He's racing number 69 in deference to the late great Tick Stewart, the former Legends Cars World Champion. Reuben Hage is on row 4 with Nat Hodgkiss, then Dave Sutton and Cian Donaldson. Ignacio Zanin next up from Harry Mangian. That's row 6. Row 7, Fraser Fenwick, the newcomer, with Sam Harvey. And then we get into the AM class. Chris White, the championship leader, ahead of Paolo Santi. Karim Sekat is second in the championship. He lines up alongside Peter Gray's younger brother, Phil McCarthy. Val Sidhu next from Neil Finnegan, who is in the pull the pin car. And then the grid completed by the Brazilian driver, Gerson Zarpello. So that is our grid. What do we think conditions-wise, Lydia? In the mini race, it was looking like it might rain. I think it might hold off for us just now.
I'm seeing a bit of blue sky, so I think we'll be okay.
Fingers crossed that the drivers are okay. So it's going to be a no-brainer on slicks going out in this one. Green flag from the back of the field. The engine notes rise. We wait for the lights to come on the gantry here. Into the second half of the season for the GT5 Challenge. Away we go. Looks like a rapid start from Will Jenkins, but he tucks in behind Conor Grady, getting a bit bogged down through the gears. Coming from the outside line is Will Orton, so it's Orton in the wide outside the 31 car, but it's Conor Grady that leads. For Mikey Doble, we've got a spinner at the back, and that is the AM class championship leader, Chris White, who's spun around. Could be advantage Karim Sekat in this one in the AMs. We'll catch up with that for you a little bit later on. Hopefully Chris has got going, but Conor Grady make a great start.
It was fantastic, wasn't it? He seemed to bog down off the line, but he's gained a little gap there, so fingers crossed he can hold on to that one.
Yeah, he's starting to pull away, and that's a very un-Ginetta-like lead that he's got as they head there side by side. Mikey Doble dropping back down the order. Big pity for Mikey, but coming up into third place there, the blue car. That is the 69 of Aidan Hills, as I mentioned, running normally number 80, which is a Tom Ingram number in Ginetta normally. And that's Aidan Hills, who is the front runner in Mazda Super Cup, runs a Mazda Super Cup team, and just doing the selected rounds of this championship this year and changing to 69. We had a brief look there at Neil Finnegan. Mentioned that he's a published author last time out, and he's enjoying his racing. And that is Val Sidhu spinning in the background. So Bal maybe getting caught out on cold tyres.
Yeah, I think so, or he's picked up the throttle a little too early here, but look at the battles going into the chicane.
Yeah, this is for second place, and Aidan Hills, he's doing this for Tick Stewart, his great friend, who sadly passed away. He's changed his number to Tick's racing number that we know from the short ovals, and he's got up into P2. So Aidan Hills finding some form that we know he's capable of. Coming up as well is Harley Horton in yellow, and Horton, yesterday's winner, passes Hills.
That was fantastic. Such an opportunistic move as well, wasn't it? I mean, he saw that unfolding in front of him and he got by. It was amazing.
Harley Horton came through the Ginetta scholarship, didn't race in the juniors, and incidentally the scholarship for this year, the entries are open So find out more about that online. It's the autumn half term where you can have a go to maybe win a fully funded season in juniors. So it's Grady from Horton, Aidan Hills, then Will Jenkins. There is Orton, Mikey Doval in the mix as well in 6th position in 88. So the pro runner's having a good go. It's Paolo Santi that leads the amateurs black in 15th. Here's what happened off the start.
Grady's got the fastest lap as well, I've just noticed. But look, he did have a bit of a struggled start there, didn't he? He didn't get off the line particularly well, did he?
You're absolutely right. And Mikey Doble lost places on the first lap as well. So it was almost as if the pair of them didn't want to make that progress. But they did get away. There's the spin for Chris White. Cold tyres again or a bit of contact?
I didn't quite see. I'm not sure whether he was helped along there a little bit. But there was certainly no contact there, was there? It's just lost the rear end. Yeah. That's not a place you want to lose the rear end there.
No, that is a scary moment, isn't it, for sure?
Absolutely.
Well, Balsidou will get back into the mix, a veteran of the Ginetta Championships. Wonderful shot as they come through the club chicane. Karim Sekat, a little bit further back actually, the yellow car with the red top, second in the AM Class Championship standings at the moment. As we look back with the likes of Paige Mangian, all in the mix. Fraser Fenwick down in 13th at the moment. And Harley Horton with the fastest lap. Is he going to be able to reel in Grady, which is what he did yesterday? Battle here with Will Jenkins closing in on Aidan Hills. Now, Aidan only doing part of the championship this year, hoping to expand the team out of GT5s, maybe look at running more cars in this, perhaps in the Ginetta Junior Championship as well, and coming under pressure from a former junior driver, which is Will Jenkins. Meanwhile, another driver we knew from juniors, Connor Grady, who really has arrived on the scene very well in this class now. He's had 2 wins so far this year, 1 third place as well, and first double pole for him this weekend, which was a really good achievement, getting a bit of coaching as well, is Connor Grady, the youngster from Surrey. And this is really good for him, breaking the toe, which is vitally important. Yes,
I mean, we see Horton, he's got the fastest lap now, so I'm not sure whether they are starting to close that gap. It is really tight in terms of lap time, but once they get in the toe, I think it'll be not game over, but they'll certainly catch up for sure.
Connor Grady running with the Zentech Motorsport team. The chaser Harley Horton is with the Elite team, and of course Elite very well known, I think, with the most wins and podia. Simon Pace was telling me yesterday, the Ginetta publicist and statistician, and they're going to carry on that success, I think. Obviously a lot of very, very impressive teams around the Ginetta GT5 paddock, plenty to take your choice from, but also this is one of the championships where you can sort of rock up and run on your own, which is what Aidan Hills is doing, with a bit of help from Dave Longhurst this weekend.
Yeah, that's fantastic, and we spoke to them yesterday, didn't we? And it's just wonderful to see such small teams competing against the bigger teams as well, and yeah, it's great to see. It really is fantastic, and this field is so competitive, isn't it? So it's great to see individual teams doing so well as well.
Connor Grady is still there, 3rd and 4th at the moment. Hills holding off Will Jenkins. Jenkins will be keen to close down on Grady, so the race leader potentially here getting back into the championship lead. It's that close between the pair of them. 216 points playing 212, so only 4 points between first in the race, 4th in the race in terms of the championship, but positions reversed as Jenkins now starting to wind up and have a little nibble here at Aidan Hills, who did junior rallycross, who we said very successful in Mazda. There's a very strong link, Lydia, between the BRSCC Mazda Championship and the Ginetta. Similar driving style, I guess, with the rear-wheel drive.
Yes, 100%, and it's a great starting place as well, isn't it? And move up on the inside there. That was a good move. Yeah, just ahead of Fraser Fenwick. It's Harry Mangian passed there by Kean Donaldson. Straight lining for Fraser Fenwick. Also in the mix there is Ignacio Zanon, running in the pro category. Paolo Santi now the leader still of the amateur class, with Karim Sekat up into 2nd. So Karim coming through the field. Hopefully we'll have a look at Karim on track a little bit later on. So passing the AM class, indeed it is the man we were talking about, Karim Sekat, just passing Paolo Santi and going up into the class league. Now Karim, again, driver we spoke to yesterday, bit of a character, isn't he? He is, Karim. Yeah, first time I'd met him, and yeah, what a character he is, but that was a great move. High commitment corner there, so yeah, really well done.
Asked him why he hadn't got pole, and he said Chris Hodgetts hadn't given him a pep talk, which was Chris Hodgetts, his driver coach, former British Touring Car champion, of course, which was quite good. But great to see Karim, and he is in the class lead. So cat and mouse with Chris White, who is still running. But this is the battle for the lead, though. So it's Conor Grady, and yesterday's winner, Harley Horton, doing what he did yesterday, comes out of the slipstream now and will go past. He's got momentum and he's got the lead.
Wow, that was really early on to pass as well. Usually we see it happening in the chicane, but that was so, he must have had such a good run out of the corner before that he just managed to slipstream and go by.
Yeah, super move for him. We wish Harley's dad well. He's just had an operation, so hope that his recovery is going well. Here's a replay.
Yeah, it looks easy, doesn't it? He's made it look so easy. He's just got such a good run out of that corner before that he's had the momentum to get by.
Aidan Hill's in the mix now, trying to challenge for second place. So Aidan in the blue car, putting Conor Grady under a bit of pressure, and Will Jenkins is going to have to pick his line in the Morris Lubricants car right behind. Aidan can't do it and could lose the place here to Jenkins, who has read this pretty well. A little bit of a clatter on the curbs at the second part of the complex for Aidan Hills, drops down to fourth position, and Will Jenkins was just waiting for that, I think.
Yes, well, I was just about to say, it seemed to be going all wrong for Grady there, but he managed to hang on, didn't he? So he lives to fight another day.
I don't think they can live with Horton out front, though.
No, he's gone, hasn't he? He's 4/10 of a second up on everyone else in the field.
With Harley Horton, he was a first win yesterday, which we've already mentioned, and it seemed a while for that to come, and I'm not saying that in a bad way against him, but we knew he had the pace. He grabbed a fastest lap double pole at Donington, and we thought he was going to convert as the leader goes on the grass. And this is Will Jenkins coming up for P2 and passing to consolidate that championship lead. We'll come back to Harley Horton in a minute, but Jenkins goes second, and here comes Aidan Hills flying around the outside. He's got up into third place, but can he hang on the outside run? He does. Was that a Josh Cook move?
That was, yeah, we've literally just seen that, haven't we? Yeah, wow, that was amazing.
Yeah, Aidan Hills not afraid to use the outside, taught by his dad Darren to race, another short circuit racer over the years, so not afraid to use that line, but may well work now with Conor Grady, who's down in fourth place. Let's not forget Will Orton, double race winner, who is in fifth. Will was racing last weekend at Silverstone, the Citroen C1s. A little bit of a contrast. Just
a bit, yes, no, I should say. But yeah, this is turning out to be a fantastic race, isn't it? I mean, it really could be anyone in this next gaggle of cars that comes out on top, couldn't it? They're all so close together.
Absolutely right. Mikey Doble at the back of the lead six, and here's the overtake again.
Same scenario, isn't it? He's just got such a good run out of that corner before. And then, wow, right round the outside. That literally is Josh Cook. He's just taken tips from the touring car race, hasn't he, and replicated it. Yeah, great move. But lovely to see Aidan Hills getting a bit of luck. He had some bad damage, you might remember, at the chicane at Donington, and a fair amount of damage on it. As the Aidan Hills gets a big Mr. Whippy there, big tank slapper, and around on, just as I said, how nice it was to see him going well. Aidan, I apologise, the curse of Neil. Oh, goodness me. Oh, it was all going so well, wasn't it? It was going well. Shame. He's out of the picture, so it's Horton leading, Jenkins second. Now it's Grady and Will Orton with Mikey Doble in sixth place. Mikey qualified on the front row, another quick young driver who is getting to grips with these, having raced in BMWs. Aidan closing back, he's going to try and pass Cian Donaldson here. At least he found the limit, I guess. I suppose so. I bet he wondered where he was going, though. Going back home to Worthing, I think. But was struggling with the setup on the car yesterday. They've clearly found something because he's really got the pace. Aidan Hills, fastest lap as well at the moment, 1:23.946, and Tick Stewart will be smiling down on him this weekend for sure. Meanwhile, look at this. Conor Grady's not finished yet. Maybe the best of his car coming back to him. And Will Jenkins. This is the battle for the championship as well at the moment. The championship lead between these two. And it's Jenkins who is out front. What a smart move from Jenkins to come into GT5 Challenge this year. Grady's been around for a little while, but really getting to grips with the car this year, perhaps more than we've seen in the past. And then Will Orton in the mix as well. Another driver is learning his craft. Mikey Doble not that far behind them. Then we've got Hodgkiss in the 95 car. That's Nat Hodgkiss. And down behind them, Ruben Hage, who's probably checking his phone to see how the football playoffs are going. I know he's supporting Notts Forest this weekend. Here we come up the hill again, and out of that slipstream, and now he's got to make it stick though, because he's got the 31 car of Orton right behind them. Yeah, I'm not sure he's quite going to manage it. Look how unsettled the car is there. He's going to have to cut the chicane. Oh, anything, he's going to have to give that back, isn't he?
Yeah, I think Connor knows the score, or does he? Is he going to give the
No,
place
he's
back?
not.
Well, in theory, he's got to cede that back to one car, but there's two behind him. So what do you do in that situation?
Well, I mean, look how much of a gap he's gained out of it, though. Even if he just backed off so that the gap wasn't so big, that would be better than nothing, in my opinion.
Yeah, but his argument would be, one place, yeah, I can see, but not two.
Yeah, I suppose so. Guess we'll have to wait and see. I hope he doesn't get a penalty for that.
Mikey Doble coming back into the mix now in the 88 car, the former BMW runner, having a good run of this one and closing in on them, getting back in the action. Let's have another look at. Talk us through what happened.
So they were all in the slipstream, aren't they? Grady goes to the outside.
Bit of braking.
He's on the brakes. Yeah, look how unsettled that car is, and he is pushed wide, I suppose.
Yeah, and you could argue it was the clatter with Jenkins a little bit.
Yeah,
not saying it's Jenkins' fault, but it was just two cars coming together.
Indeed, 6 of one and half a dozen of the other.
Who'd want to be a clerk of the course?
No, not me.
There's Karim Sekat. He leads the AM class here. Could well get back into the class championship lead here. Chris White's on 231. Karim with 2 wins under his belt this year so far on 219. Meanwhile, though, back to the pro class at the front of the grid with 7 minutes left on the clock. Hill still with the fastest lap. He's down in 9th, but has had some good airtime up at the front. They'll take that pace and his racecraft for sure into the next rounds. But it's Horton away. Going back to Harley Horton, just saying that he had a couple of pole positions and we knew he was on the pace at the start of the year. And getting that first win, and I'll ask you this because you won in the minis at Snet, that's a big weight off your mind, isn't it?
It is, absolutely. And you know, he was saying he'd been trying for it for quite a long time, hadn't he? And it's a relief to get the gratification to know that you can do it. I think it's almost a confidence thing, and I mean, look at him. He's miles ahead of everyone else, isn't he? He's checked out, so maybe that's what he needed, that little confidence boost, and look how well he's doing.
Karim Sekat there in the AM class race lead, so Karim is ahead of Paolo Santi. Chris White in 3rd, so Chris White here might just be able to hang on to the class lead. If you look back, there's Conor Grady in 2nd place, and Will Orton from Will Jenkins. So Jenkins at the moment is the driver that's just lost out a shade.
Yeah, just a bit. It all kind of went wrong for him, didn't it? It's all sort of fell apart. But I mean, that doesn't mean that he's out of contention. The tow brings everyone back close together, doesn't it? So yeah, it's not over yet for sure. We've got 6 minutes left, but it can all change. Yeah,
good stuff from the Ginetta GT5, part of the Ginetta ladder. You can maybe move up to Super Cup here. Good prize fund available for this championship as well. I know you were looking with interest at it.
I was, yeah. It's a fantastic prize. There's a real incentive to join the championship for sure. Yeah, it's brilliant, really good.
Essentially, they're racing for entry into the Super Cup next year, which is but there are prizes for the AMs and for rookies and goodness knows what else. And Ginetta really put a lot back into their racing.
Fantastic support, isn't it? Really. I mean, what a great championship to offer such fantastic prizes as well. So yeah, it's brilliant.
So this is the scrap for 2nd position, and now Orton is having a look. I beg your pardon, Jenkins having a look on the outside of Orton. He's got it, so he goes back here into 3rd place for Will Jenkins. Orton relegated to 4th. We've got Hodgkiss all over the back of Doble at the back of this one. So Nat Hodgkiss in the blue car without the yellow trim on the front spoiler is trying to close down. Better side on that we see the salt tyre, so no prizes for guessing which country he's from and which round he would be looking forward to. But Grady's still there. Horton's checked out. No TV coverage for Harley Horton because he's away down the road. 4.4 seconds clear. And I'll tell you what, this is going to put Harley Horton's 4th in the championship. And that's the first time this year I've had to back reference where is he in the championship, because I think with this sort of form he's going to be clearly knocking on the door of the top 3, if not the overall championship lead, if he maintains the pace that we're seeing. So nearly 5 seconds clear, but what a great battle for 2nd. Yeah,
look how close they are. I mean, we don't even know who's going to come out on top out of the chicane here. Grady's on the inside. Can he keep it clean? Yes. He's held on to it. Well done. You
could see Jenkins' machinations there, couldn't you? He was just thinking, yep, I could try the outside. Grady runs a little bit wide. Jenkins is going to tee up the inside here and read that well, saw the gap, had good momentum. The right decision, wasn't it, to back out of a potential move at the chicane. He's got the lead, but how long for? They touch. A little bit of opposite lock between the pair of them. Will Orton now makes it 3 wide as they come up into the complex, and Jenkins is down in 4th position again as Will Orton comes up and challenges Conor Grady for 2nd. Grady's holding on. Hodgkiss is coming through. Now, I'm wondering, is Jenkins' car damaged? Because Hodgkiss has gone through. Doble is all over him as well, and Ruben Hage is joining in too.
That was fantastic. I don't know how you covered all of that, Richard, but blimey. so close, and they sort of messed each other up there, didn't they, at the start? And other drivers capitalised. It was, yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, this is actually absolutely super. This is why people are so excited about GT5 Challenge this year. When we looked at the entry, there was just a tangible buzz about the listing of drivers that we got. Here comes Ruben Hage challenging Mikey Doble at the back of this group. Hage is challenging for 6th place. Is he going to be able to go through? Conor Grady under pressure here from Will Orton. This is for 2nd place, and Will Orton's on the grass. He might lose control here. He's going to lose a couple of places with the momentum, and Nat Hodgkiss now is up on a potential podium.
What a shame. He lost so much ground there, didn't he? Just getting a wheel on the grass and then being tugged into it. So yeah, Conor Grady is still holding on, isn't he?
Yeah, Conor here has been working real hard. There's a replay of that grass moment. That's not where you want to be.
No, definitely not. I mean, better than the other side of the grass, I suppose, but yeah, not good at all.
Just a prayer, I guess, to get back on safely in front of everyone and no damage.
Yeah, indeed, which he did. So he has another go at it, doesn't he, I suppose?
So Zentek Motorsport car in 2nd position, the orange brown logoed livery, with Nat Hodgkiss from Race Car Consultants team, David Elsley's team, in 3rd place. Will Jenkins is back in it, and he has got himself back up into 4th position. The resilience of Jenkins, the fight that we've seen from Grady, and the pace we've seen here from Harley Horton, who heads through massive un-Ginetta-like lead. He's away.
Unbelievable. I mean, when do you ever see that around Thruxton? Look at the lead that he's got. I mean, gosh, with the tow around here, you shouldn't be able to do that, but somehow he's managed it. What a drive.
Elite have given him a good car for this race for sure, and Harley, bless him, has driven his socks off. I think he'll be dedicating this one to his dad, as we said, is recovering from an operation, and we wish him. Look at that up Woodham Hill, so clear. Now the other elite car is in the mix, and that is Will Jenkins, as they come up towards the hill again, and it could be any one of these four for 2nd position, and Grady gets contact. That's going to be into the barrier.
Oh dear.
And that might be an early race finish. I would say, is it out of harm's way? It doesn't look particularly so from across the track, but contact there. We'll get a replay and try and get you to call that through. But with the way they were going, big sideways moment for Jenkins there, dicing with Mikey Doble in the blue 88. So it's going to be Hodgkiss coming through for 2nd position in the 88 car. We reckon lap times here 1:25, so probably onto the last lap. Nat Hodgkiss in the 95 car has already had a race win so far this year. Great to see him back on the podium. But here comes Jenkins now chasing Mikey Doble. Conor Grady is out of the car. That's the good news.
Indeed, yes. So let's see what happened here.
Yeah.
Oh no, that was the incident before, wasn't it?
That was Hage before, but it all kicks off here with the 4 of them all wanting the same bit of tarmac.
Oh, he got run
little
in the back
nudge in the back,
yeah.
Is Hodgkiss going to keep his 2nd place if he's on the road?
No, I'm not sure he is, you know. How unfortunate is that?
Yeah, that's a shame. I mostly feel sorry, of course, for Conor Grady, but you feel a little bit for Nat, who's trying to get involved as well. He wouldn't have wanted to have done that.
No, it was such a tiny tap as well, wasn't it? I don't think it was intentional.
So where are we? Harley Horton leads by 8.767 seconds from Nat Hodgkiss. That could be under review, but he's 2nd on the road at the moment. Then we've got Mikey Doble from Will Jenkins and Will Orton with... Just having a look to see if Ruben Hage is still in the mix. He is after his grassy moment a couple of laps ago. But on the last lap, it's going to be it's going to be Harley Horton's 2nd win on the bounce. He's going to carry the momentum into the next round, which is going to be huge for him. Who's got the fastest lap? Still with Aidan Hills, who's recovered up to 8th place now. Amateur class battle. This is close. Now the yellow car is Karim Seckert. The black car is Chris White. And these guys, great friends off track, but good rivals on circuit here. And they're having a real good battle. Up ahead of them is the number 70 car. That's Sam Harvey, Zentek Racing youngster from Sutton Coldfield. We go back to the race leader. He's controlled this well. He fought to get into the lead and held on well.
Unbelievable. I bet he can't believe the race that he's just had. I mean, we haven't seen a lot of him, to be fair, have we? But wow, what a lead. You don't do that around Thruxton. I honestly don't know how he's done it. Unbelievable.
And this guy, I met him at the Ginetta Scholarship. He didn't win. I think he got through to the finals, if I remember, but he didn't elect to come into junior racing. He thought, no, we'll go straight into challenge. And a lot of people are thinking about doing that, and you can do that. You can bypass juniors and come in. And that's what Harley Horton's done in the number 20 car. The 17-year-old from Stockport takes a second career win. Delighted he's got a live one on TV. He'll be happy about that. He's a great lad. That'll help him with his studies, get him in the right mindset for studies coming up and exams. Second position on the road is going to go to Nat Hodgkiss. He'll be disappointed about the contact. Mikey Doble takes third place. Then Will Jenkins in fourth. Jenkins' championship lead is intact, courtesy of the retirement of Conor Grady. We're going to look now back towards the amateur class. Karim Sekat is leading that. There is our overall winner, Harley Horton, for Elite Motorsport. But where are the amateur leaders? Let's have a look, see if we can pick up the yellow car with the red roof. And it's a challenge for the leads. They come down into the club chicane for the last time. And Chris White in black and white is chasing for the lead, but Karim Sekat isn't going to let him have it. They both go over the grass creek. That was so close, and Karim Sekat is going to take the win from Chris White.
Blimey, that was close. They must have been inches from that tyre bundle, mustn't they? Blimey.
Yeah, well done to our directors for picking that up just at the crucial moment. Absolutely superb. And difficult to cover so many battles that we've got going on. But Chris White, let's remember, Chris White recovered from that spin that he had earlier on to close in on Karim, but Karim wasn't having it. Good battle at the end between those two. But Harley Horton, difficult to pick a driver of the race for that, but you'd have to argue really a lot not to say Harley Horton.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, look at the pace he had. Unbelievable.
Started fifth on the grid.
Yeah, so we had to work for it as well, didn't it? It wasn't just a pole to check a flag, was it?
And, he's enjoying it. Look at that. Vigorous wave. Haven't seen that many of those this weekend.
No, well, he's happy after yesterday, so he must be absolutely delighted now, mustn't he?
Absolutely. Well, I think Harley could still be in Ginetta Juniors because he turned 17 in January. I can't remember he would have been on the bubble of being able to do juniors this year, but wonderful to see him in GT5 Challenge. Here's how they finished round 10 of the Pro Time Motorsport Ginetta GT5 Challenge. Harley Horton takes the win from Nat Hodgkiss and Mikey Doble. Will Jenkins fourth from Will Orton and Ruben Hage. Then Aidan Hill's recovering for seventh ahead of Dave Sutton and Keir Donaldson. Harry Mangian completes the top 10 ahead of Fraser Fenwick on his debut weekend. Ignacio Zanin was in 12th from Sam Harvey, and the amateur class going to Karim Sekat from Chris White and Paolo Santi. Fourth in class, Phil McGarty from Gerson Sarpello. Neil Finnegan is 19th from Bal Sidhu. So great Ginetta GT action. Lydia, thanks for joining us again on the coverage here. There is a very happy Harley Horton to get alliterative. Jody Fanning congratulates him, and we'll hear from Harley after this short break. Please stay with us.
Round 10 of the Ginetta GT5 Challenge, a competition getting into the second half of the season. Conor Grady off pole position grabbed the lead, but will soon come under pressure from the earlier race winner Harley Horton. Problems all down the field. Will Jenkins, a championship leader, fought his way into second, but a resurgent Conor Grady was still in the picture. It all built up into a huge battle for the podium places in the last few minutes of the race. Will Orton got on the grass, Conor Grady got up to second, and then it all went wrong at the chicane after contact with Nat Hodgkiss. But up front, Harley Horton have built up an extraordinary lead, some 10 seconds to command the race. That was the unfortunate Conor Grady going off. Harley Horton, second win of the weekend from Hodgkiss and Mikey Doble. And we'll get the reaction from Louise after we check the championship positions, which has Will Jenkins with a narrow lead in the GT5 Pro section over Nat Hodgkiss. Chris White battling right to the end to maintain his lead in the GT5 AM category. Let's go down to Louise.